Hello everyone, it's the Canadian Futures Trader here. Welcome to the channel and welcome to the video.
Gotta get more followers.
Everyone, I had the opportunity to interview Daryl Martin from Apex Trader Funding and Apex Investing. Guys, you won't want to miss this one. We get into Daryl's extensive background as a trader, decades long, how he started out trading, what he was trading, how it evolved into futures trading. I have an interesting discussion about the software he's using and what he's looking for to enter trades. Then we transition and talk first about Apex Investing. We get into the trade room, which Daryl has, the different tools that are available on Apex Investing, and then of course, what I'm most interested in, Apex Trader Funding, the origins, why he started it, and how it's grown to be such a successful funded future trader program out there. And then of course, what would any interview be without rapid fire questions at the end? You won't want to miss Daryl's answers. So guys, stick around for the entire interview, and here is my chat with Daryl Martin.
Right now!
Everyone, today we are very fortunate. We get to talk to Daryl Martin from Apex Trader Funding. Daryl, how are you doing?
I am doing fantastic, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with me, and so I can share it with all the people, the good traders out there.
Yeah.
I think what we'll do is we'll get to know Daryl as a trader a little bit. I'm going to ask him some questions. Then we're going to get into Apex Trader Funding. Got lots of things I'm curious about there. And then lastly, we're going to wrap up with some rapid fire questions. Daryl, don't worry, they're easy and they're fun. So
bring it on. Nope.
Daryl Martin as the trader. So just give me a bit of background. A lot of people might not even be familiar with you or with Apex, but they will be after this interview. When did you start trading? And did you start trading futures or did you start with something else first?
I started about 15 years ago. We found out we were going to have our first child, and I was like, I got to make some more money. Mm-hmm. I went to some Get Motivated seminar that had like Giuliani and all these people teaching, and some guy was talking about red and green arrows on options. And my family background, we don't have I come from a poor family. Okay. Don't have any knowledge in investing or anything like that. Didn't have any. And so I started out. I got that course was okay, but it got me hooked. Mm-hmm. And then I got every course I could get, every seminar I could get. And I finally found some traders and some market movers, forward traders that taught me really how the market works. And I started out with options. I quit my day job trading options. It was costing me too much money to go to work. And that's what I told my boss when I quit. And because I was making more money trading in a couple hours than I was making all day. From there, I started recording videos for my daughter, so she would know how to trade if something ever happened to me. And then one of my friends talked me into turning into a website that became apexinvesting.com, and the educational company that I own. I went from there. As far as markets that I trade, I like to trade NQ and ES. I pretty much focus on those two markets. I found that I could, find the heartbeat of those markets versus hopping around between a whole bunch of different markets at the same, trying to figure them all out. And that's led to a lot more consistency in my trading. So yeah, that's sort of how I got started. I traded Forex. I made 10,000 the first day. I lost 10,000 the second day. I put that on the back burner. I was glad it didn't happen in reverse. And then I got more into Forex options and, did some cool strategies on that. But eventually wanted to get into futures. Futures is really where it's at. It's your best leverage, just the best markets, in my opinion, to trade, because you see everything. You don't just see stocks. Because you can trade, you can look at indices. I do look at the other markets. I look at treasuries. I look at gold. I look at oil. I look at, ags. I just don't trade them. I focus on the indices. That's pretty much how I got going.
It's funny. Your story is a similar story of the few people I've interviewed. It always seems to be the same thing. Like they start out with like options or Forex is one. The volatility is wild, and then they find their way to futures. And like you said, like you can see it all. You can see like depth of market, and there's lots of opportunity there. So yeah. Awesome. It's a common theme, but I think for a reason, because it's a logical kind of progression. What software do you use? I'm gonna say NinjaTrader, but I shouldn't assume. What do you use to trade?
If I trade options, I use Thinkorswim, but I mainly trade futures on a daily basis. And yeah, I use NinjaTrader.
Okay. Again, that's kind of why, most people seem to go to the Ninja route. Speaking of trades, is there a way you can kind of generalize, like what's your style of trading? Are you technical indicators, price action, order flow, crystal ball? You know, what are you doing to enter a trade? What are you looking for?
Crystal ball every time.
Okay, yeah, no, that's me too.
No, I made a unique software called Order Prints. It's a combination of order flow and footprints, and I changed up all the algorithms and made it really simple versus having to look at 1,000 numbers on a screen. It literally details when to get in, when to get out, where to set your take profit, where to set your stop loss. I use that for scalps. And then sometimes, you know, I'll do running trades on that. And then for, you know, trailing trades, for my larger trades, I use what I call simplicity. And it uses a combination of two indicators, one that measures price volatility and the other one measures implied volatility. And it actually factors implied volatility live into the market. So that way I'm able to see if there's a change in implied volatility versus price action. And when they line up and the price action lines up, then I, you know, take a trade.
More sophisticated answer than I expected. And not because I'm saying I didn't expect you to trade in a sophisticated way, but most people are just like, yeah, I use RSI. And that's like the end of their story. So,
I don't use any of the free indicators. Those are made just to keep you trading. They're not made to make you money.
Yeah, see, I
know a lot of the guys that made a lot of those indicators back in the 80s and 90s, and they would have just made them because a lot of them were like professors and stuff, and it was just popular. Things were coming out, and they made them to, you know, sell courses.
I'm a little bit anti-indicator myself. I trade order flow, but I get some people like the easy route. I don't want to bag on indicators too much since I know a lot of people do use them. I don't want to alienate everybody, but I hear you.
Right.
So
I just found that this gives me a lot more consistency.
Yeah, well, and I think actually maybe even a better point is, you know, everybody can kind of find what works for them. Like you've found this, and I'm sure other people will find it and be introduced to these things through you or hearing this. And the same way,
yeah, we have like 30,000 members at apexinvesting.com. I actually trade the markets every day. I have a live trade room where I call out trades. And I got a couple other traders in there that call out trades as well. So like as far as Apex Trader Funding, it's not just born of people who want to make a funding company. It was born, you know, from actual traders. So it's traders helping traders, and that's our motto.
Actually, that leads into kind of two questions. One was I was going to ask you, you know, how do you balance your time, like between like running not just Apex Investing but also Apex Trader Funding and trading? Like, do you have like a pretty strict schedule? Like, hey, this hour to this hour, I'm in the trade room, I trade, and then like, how do you manage it?
About 9 to 11 is when I trade, and I'm in the trade room. So I only trade a couple hours a day. Found I don't really need more than that. As long as I can make a profit and call it a day, it's good. You know, I don't need to trade all day. I found that actually leads to making bad decisions. As far as running the company, I mean, we have 14, 15 people running Apex Trader Funding because it's so big. We've got several people running Apex Investing as far as the business side. And then, you know, after 11 o'clock, any business that I got to do or any, you know, escalated things I got to handle, I handle that like, you know, from 11 to like 1, and then I'm pretty much done for the day.
Nice. No, that's as they say, living the dream. It's the kind of that freedom. I mean, I can only mirror what you say. I learned a long time ago that trading all day, all night. I think when people start trading, they get excited and they want to trade, you know, their hearts out and trade as much as they can. I learned quickly too. I only trade the morning session about 8 to 12, and then I call it quits. Or if I have a few good trades, I call it quits. I have other things to do myself. So, and you're right. Like if you just keep at it, you take a loser. Now you're mad, or maybe not mad, but you know, you want that money back, and you end up trading, over trading. So
yeah, and you go into a downward spiral, and
it's too easy to get sucked into that. So no, mentally it's easier just a few hours a day, boom, done with that, and move on.
I mean, if I get my profit in the first 10 minutes of trading, then I'm done.
So obviously, should check out Apex Investing. Is if they want to find the trade room, is that through Apex Investing?
Yeah, we actually, I built it like I wish somebody would have built something for me. So instead of like charging like $10,000 or $20,000 and then, oh, you need this other thing, you need this other thing, you know, we actually give you free access for a month with no credit card.
Okay.
So they just go to apexinvesting.com. They'll see a free sign up for boot camp. They don't have to enter any credit card. They get access to indicators. They get access to our training. They get access to our trade room for an entire month. The second month is only $1.
Oh.
And then after that, it goes to $200 a month. And if you're not making $200 a month by that point, then don't sign up. You know, basically, we're so confident in the system, we don't need to charge you a lot up front, because people who actually put the work in and will actually watch the videos and be involved in the trade room and ask questions, those people do well. The people who, you know, want the easy path of just give me one line and follow it, they're not going to do well no matter where they go.
I always tell people, like, you have to work hard at this stuff, like put in the time. You don't get to just show up and like click a button and win and not even know what you're doing. Like, it takes a bit of work, but hey, you're doing everything on your side that you can do to give them the opportunity to
Exactly.
learn. All right, let's switch a bit more to Apex Trader Funding. What was the planning process like? Like, how long does it take to start a company like Apex Trader Funding?
I was an affiliate for another company, but I was also a trader with them, and they actually capped me out at $300,000. I made that in like a month, and they decided I could only make 50 grand after that, like period. And I'm like, well, why would I only want to make 50 grand when I had the ability to make that much? You know, and I tried every funding company out there, and I'm not going to mention names. But you know, they had too many rules. They charge too much. They have multiple evaluation steps. They have daily drawdowns, like $500 drawdowns that knock you out. They have things like, if you go over by one contract, you lose what you, and that's even in a performance account. I was just like, you know, this can be done better. So I'm going to do it. I have a guy I've worked with for a decade that's just a master programmer. He was able to program the API and everything else we needed in like 2 months. He's programmed a bunch of arbitrage strategies and things like that I have running on autopilot. He's a perfectionist, so he makes sure to, you know, do everything he can to make sure things are working properly. So yeah, we got it up really fast.
Yeah, sometimes it's kind of what it takes too, is like having good people around you to like your programming guy. Like that's part of the magic, like trying to not do it all yourself. But now yeah, Apex definitely, I mean, it popped up, and I mean, from what I can tell as an outsider, has been pretty wildly successful. Definitely most popular. Actually, I just the other day put a poll on my YouTube channel saying, hey, I'm going to do a new trader valuation out of these companies, you know, which one would you want to see? And there was 5 or 6 listed, whatever it was either 5 or 6, but Apex won like by a landslide. All right, can do. So
I mean, this year we've had 215,000 accounts through Apex.
Wow, that's like almost unfathomable. That's crazy.
Our performance accounts have funded $998 million so far, so almost $1 billion. And we paid out nearly $2 million to traders.
Wow.
So which is more than anybody else that I know of, any other funding company I'm aware of.
I mean, those are huge numbers. I was going to say at the end of 2021, it was triple digit millions, but sounds like it's approaching billions. Cool. And then actually one of the other questions I was going to say, but I think in some ways you kind of answered, Apex really does have pretty liberal rules relative to other companies. I was going to ask, was that kind of the plan from the start? But it sounds like it was kind of born out of, that's exactly why you have it that way. Like you want to kind of be a step above the competition. So
yeah, we have I mean, basically it's don't hit your trailing stop, hit your take profit, trade at least 10 days, close by 4:59, and don't let anybody else trade your account. Like that's the rules. That's it.
Yeah. Sometimes I get a lot of people that are like, these evaluations are too tough. There's too many rules. There's seriously like 4 rules. Don't hit your trailing drawdown. Don't trade when you're not allowed to. Like, there you go.
Exactly.
It's not hard.
And with the trailing drawdown, that's probably the one complaint we do get, is to be transparent, you know, but we want to see that people can manage their risk and their profit both, so that they're not just going for big gains and then they give it all back. I mean, how many traders, me and you both, have been up 5,000 and all of a sudden we're down 2,000.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And we want to see that people can take profits. We actually stop the trailing drawdown in the performance account once you hit the balance plus $100 on the trailing drawdown. So that way you can build a buffer. And then once you built a buffer, then you can let trades run. Then you can go for, you know, you can let things go up and down. But you don't want to do it, you know, what you want to go in and you want to take profits, and it doesn't have to be scalps, but you know, you don't have to pick tops and bottoms either. You know, got to go in and, you know, trade well and don't give up your profits.
I get just talking with traders why maybe it's an adjustment for them. But and when people ever ask me tips, somebody literally quite yesterday, can you give me tips on how do I pass like Apex? Dude, just, you know, there's a trailing drawdown. So
take a little bit every day and stop.
Yeah, take some quick or not quick profit, you know, don't just let it run up and down and sit and watch. Like, take profits, and then the trailing drawdown's always going to be way down there. You know, it's not approaching you if you're grabbing the profit, not letting it run up and come back against you. That's where people are getting
Everybody
in
wants the trade to go to the moon.
Yeah, I mean, but that's part of through the pain. That's how it worked for me. Like, took enough fails to go, okay, I need to change what I'm doing. What do I need to change? And that's how I became successful at these things. So,
I said, we have a lot of people try to complain about it, but I mean, like I said, almost $1 billion in funding. Obviously, it's very possible.
100%. I agree. It's definitely possible if you kind of employ the right strategies. And I mean, it's a great opportunity for people. I was going to ask you, what are some tips you could give traders to help you through the evaluations? But I don't know if you have any additional ones, but we kind of touched on it.
My biggest summary is take some profits and stop trading for the day. Don't try to pass it all in one day. You'll end up doing 1 billion resets that way. Yeah. And then when you get your PA account, you'll do the same thing, and then you'll blow it the first day. And, you know, be patient. Look for good trade setups. Have a trading plan. Don't just randomly hit buttons based on what you think.
Yeah.
If you're looking for one, check out one of the companies on our tools page, or go to apexinvesting.com, whatever. We don't care how you trade. We just care that you're consistent.
Nice.
And it takes consistency for not only the evaluation to work, but the PA to work. And if you can be disciplined enough to take profits at the stop and let it build, it doesn't matter if it takes you a month or two. Maybe it takes you 10 days, maybe it takes, which is the minimum. If there's no maximum, and it's cheaper to pay for a couple months of evaluation than it is to pay for 100 resets.
Yeah, and I think too, the other thing I'd tack on is people really need to kind of get out of that mindset of just going in, try to hit it hard and fast and be done. If you're actually planning on making a lifetime career out of trading, there's no reason to rush it and try to pass evaluation in one day. Take the opportunity to get used to just doing the quick wins. Yeah. And
the people that do that, they blow their PA account within a day or two.
Yeah.
Because they do the same thing. So it's like what you do in your evaluation is probably what you're going to do in your performance account.
The problem I had, sometimes I got lucky and passed, and then I would keep doing bad habits and blow funded account. And then, so it really took changing approach and trading style and all those things. When they pass their evaluation account, how long until they get their performance account?
Basically, it's the next day. They'll get after 1 a.m., they'll get an email that says, hey, pay your performance account fee and sign the contract. Mm-hmm. As soon as they do that, they get set up. So, a day or 2 days, once you sign that and get that done, your performance account is usually set up within 15 minutes. It's all automated. You don't have to wait 3 or 4 days like some companies that go through and review everything and all this. We have everything automated. So it's very fast.
One other thing I'll touch on is, so you guys offer the ability to have multiple accounts. Can you, and I know it's funny, when I first started futures trading, that never even dawned on me. I had so many people ask me about trade copier. Can you maybe rattle off, why would somebody want multiple accounts if they're not familiar, like I wasn't back in the day?
Well, the biggest reason is to spread out your risk. And instead of trading 10 contracts in one account, you could trade one contract in 10 accounts. And so if you do have a bad day, you have it on one contract, not on 10 contracts, right? So you're less likely to blow your account. And then you multiply your profits as well as you go up and as you get your account bigger. And we have people that go in and they're making, $6,000-$10,000 an account in a PA. They have 10 accounts. They're making, $60,000-$80,000 a month. And they're not having to they're not having to take big trades and risk blowing everything. Trade copier on tools page of Apex Trader Funding. It's like $150. And it allows you to trade multiple accounts at the same time on one funding company at a time.
Yeah, and it's super simple to use. It couldn't be easier, honestly, to use the copier. So I don't think I have any other questions about Apex Trader Funding. Obviously, everyone, you guys, whenever anybody asks me, what do I recommend? It's Apex Trader Funding. It's no secret. You guys are my top recommended funded evaluation company. So everybody check them out. I'll put links down below in the video description to Apex and to Apex Investing as well, so they can come check all those things out. I like to end every interview with the rapid fire question section. There's about 6 or 7 questions here. First thing that comes to mind. Some are trading, some aren't. Here we go. All right, Daryl Martin, what is your favorite color?
My favorite color is orange.
You can only trade one product and one product only for the rest of your life. What would it be?
NASDAQ.
Would you rather be short or would you rather be long?
Oh, I love being short.
Have you ever YOLO'd a trade?
Oh, yeah, I've made that mistake before.
I think we all have. More than once for me, but you learn over time. Number between 1 and 10, how many is the ideal number of monitors?
Ideal, I'd say as many as you can have, but 4.
And then the last question, I think I know the answer, but I'm going to ask you anyways. What is your favorite online futures trader tryout firm?
Oh, that's going to be apexinvesting.com for sure.
Of course. All right. Everyone, I want to thank Daryl for being here again. So Daryl, thanks. I think that was a ton of great info all about both Apex Investing and Apex Trader Funding. So we kind of got 2 for 1 on the intel. Everyone should check out both the sites. Like I said, there'll be links down below. And again, Daryl, thanks for being here.
Hey, man. Thank you. Appreciate your time.
All right. Thanks, everyone, for listening.